Class 8 Biology, Chapter 4. Good morning, students. Now, students, our next topic is blood transfusion. Now, students, you know the importance of blood. Now, if somehow the blood is lost from our body on account of some accident or maybe some sort of complication, then we need to have the blood transfusion. Means we need a person who can donate his blood to us. Now, before blood transfusion, we need to match the blood of a donor to that of the recipient. If the matching is not there, then we will not take the blood from the donor to the recipient. If the blood is not matching and still we do the blood transfusion, then let us see what will happen. The red blood cells of the two bloods, that is from the donor and from the recipient, they will clump together, means they will come together, and this phenomenon is known as agglutination and block the blood vessels of recipient. Okay, the reaction of agglutination will take place in the blood vessels of the recipient. Okay, and this may lead to serious consequence and even death. Now, when I said regarding the blood matching, the matching is done in terms of the blood groups. Okay, so let us see first what is this blood group. Now, students, humans have these four types of blood groups, that is blood group A, blood group B, blood group AB, and blood group O. Now, how we decide that a given person is having blood group A or B or AB or O? Now, students, this classification is based on the fact that our RBC, they are having certain sort of protein chains over their surface. So if they are having the A chain, we will call that person to be blood group A, with the blood group A. If the RBC, they are having B chain, B type of protein over the surface, then we will call that person to be having the blood group B. Okay, and these chains are simply called as antigen A, antigen B, or antigen A and B. Let me show you with the diagram. Now here you can see this A antigen, it is nothing but the protein chain. Okay, so in this way, in the curly way, I have shown this A and this B as the filled circle I have shown. So now you see, if over the RBC of a person, red blood cells of a person, if only this type of chain is present, means which is this chain? A chain. Okay, so such a person will be called as a with the blood group A. Okay, these negative and positive I will discuss later on. So we will call that person to be of the A blood group. Now, if a person is having B blood group, it means over his RBC, B type of chains are present. Okay, B type of chains are present, and these are called now B antigen. It will be called as A antigen or antigen A, antigen B. Got it? Now, if a person's RBC, it carries both A antigen and B antigen, such a person's blood group will be AB. Okay, AB together we will write. And however, if the RBC, it does not have any antigen, then it will be called O blood group. Okay, so in O blood group, the RBC of such a person, it does not contain antigen. Okay, neither A nor B. Now, students, there can be one more type of chain which is called RH. Okay, and this I have shown with this line, a straight line I have shown. Okay, so just consider that this line, this RH antigen or this RH protein is a sort of a straight line. Okay, for the sake of simplicity, I'm saying don't think that A antigen is looking like this, B antigen looks like this, or RH looks like this. This is for the illustrative purpose. Now here once again you can see no RH was there, no straight line I have drawn, means negative. Negative means RH is not there. Here you can see no straight line I have drawn, it means negative. Okay, so no RH is there means negative, if RH is there means positive. Here also no straight line means no RH I have drawn, so negative. Here also no straight line I have drawn, so negative. Got this one? Now let us see the positive cases. RBC, if the person's RBC carry the A antigen along with the RH antigen, then it will be called A positive. Okay, likewise B antigen along with the RH antigen, then it will be called B positive. Okay, and both A and B antigen along with the RH antigen, it will be called AB positive. Then we have no A antigen, no B antigen, that's why O, but yes, RH antigen is present, so it will be called O positive. Then students, the person who is having blood group A, that means he is having antigen A over his RBC, his blood will carry antibody B. Okay, you know the meaning of antibody. Antibodies are the proteins which are present in the blood, and they have the capacity to kill the germs. Okay, so the person who is having blood group B, likewise his RBC will be having antigen B, and that person's blood will be having antibody A. Okay, here antigen B is present on the RBC, but his blood will be carrying antibody A. Likewise, blood group AB has both antigens, that is A and B. I already shown you in the picture, but no antibody. Okay, A and B in the persons having blood group AB, the antigens A and B are present over there, but in their blood no antibodies are present. Okay, no antibodies for the A and B antigen I am saying. Then blood group O has neither antigen A nor B, but both antibodies A and B are present. Okay, so person having blood group O, they don't have the antigen A or B, but they do possess the antibodies A and B. There is a distinction between antigen and antibodies. So before blood transfusion, we need to check the blood of the recipient as well as blood of the donor. So a person with blood group A can give blood to a person with blood group A or AB. So if it is the donor, okay, I'm just writing D means donor, then these are the recipients. These people, as a patient, they can take the blood from this person. Okay, now if a person is blood group B, means if a person is donor and his blood group is B, then he can donate his blood to the person having blood group B and AB. I am writing recipient here. Okay, then a person with blood group AB can give blood to a person with blood group AB only. So if I am having the blood group AB, so I can donate only to this person. However, she can receive blood from all blood groups and is therefore called a universal recipient. So if a person is having blood group AB and if he becomes the patient, means if he becomes the recipient, then he can have the blood from the people of blood group A, the people from this blood group B, the people of AB, as well as the people of blood group O. Now a person with blood group O can give blood to all types of blood groups. Okay, so a person who is having blood group O, he can donate his blood to the A people, to the B people, as well as to the AB people, and obviously to the O people he can donate. Okay, but however, if this person becomes the recipient, means if this person becomes the patient and he is in need of the blood, he can have the blood only from the person of blood group O. Okay, so hence a person with blood group O is called a universal donor, because this blood group O person can donate blood to all the remaining blood groups like A, B, AB, and obviously to the O also. And here this AB, it is called the universal recipient. Why? Because this AB blood group person can receive the blood from the people of blood group A, the people of blood group B, obviously the people of blood group AB, and from the blood group O. So this is the summary, whatever I have taught you, and here you can see RH, another antigen present on the surface of RBC. So if it is present, we will denote it with plus sign, okay, plus sign. And if this RH is absent, we will denote it with the negative sign, like negative, okay. Now see this blood pressure. So blood pressure is pressure exerted by circulating blood on the inner walls of arteries. You remember that whenever you are having your blood pressure checked, there is a strap which is bound to your hands, okay. Basically that is measuring the pressure inside the arteries. Now the blood pressure, it is having two limits, okay. One is called the upper limit, another one is called the lower limit. Let us see directly over here. So if a person is having a normal person is having a blood pressure in this range, so here you can see the upper limit, the greater one is the upper limit and the second one is the lower limit, okay. The lesser limit is called the lower limit. So the pressure of the blood over the arteries, it is between this range, but yes, sometimes it can be increased. Like in this case you can see that 140 is the upper limit and 90 is the lower limit. In this case the person is said to be in hypertension, okay. Means the tension is more, that is hypertension. The pressure is more inside the blood vessels, inside the artery, okay. And in some other cases there can be hypotension, means low blood pressure. Now students, the blood pressure is measured by a apparatus, an instrument known as sphygmomanometer, and here you can see that this is a digital sphygmomanometer. Now students, the upper limit is called the systolic pressure and the lower limit is called the diastolic pressure. So this is the pressure when the heart is relaxed and this is the pressure when the heart is contracted or compressed to send the blood out of the heart. Now students, in some cases it has been seen that the heart is beating too hard or too fast, skipping a beat or fluttering, and this thing is known as the palpitation, and this can be felt over the chest, throat or neck. So it occurs when suddenly you are frightened by something, or you were having a sleep and suddenly you got up, okay. Maybe by observing a dream, okay. So at that time this is happening. So this thing is called the palpitation. Then cardiac arrest. So cardiac arrest is a sudden and frequently fatal event that occurs when the blood circulation system malfunctions, causing the heart to stop beating. Now students, if the heart stops beating for quite a few minutes or seconds, the death is sure. But sometimes after it stops beating, suddenly it starts pumping the blood. So it is not necessary that after every cardiac arrest there will be death. But yes, if the heart stops beating and then again it gets started, means the person is suffering through a heart disease or complication. Now students, you know that blood is a liquid which keeps on flowing in a given direction in our body. Students, besides blood there is another liquid and this is called the lymph, okay. So the system involving the lymph is called the lymphatic system, and this lymph is a fluid which is present around the tissues or cells. So when blood flows through the capillaries of tissues, some of the plasma and leukocytes mean WBCs, filter out into the spaces between the cells to form tissue fluid. Now some of this tissue fluid may be reabsorbed into the blood vessels, but most of it enters into another set of minute channels called the lymph vessels. So lymph is present inside the lymph vessels as blood is present inside the blood vessels. The fluid collected in these channels is called the lymph. Okay, it is slightly yellowish in color. Lymph has the same composition as blood except that it contains less proteins. Okay, and no RBC. Here you have seen a WBC can enter the lymphatic system, but no RBC, no platelets, and more of lymphocytes, a type of leukocyte which help in fighting infection and disease. So basically the antibodies or the things which work against the germs, they fight in these vessels. Okay, lymph carries food and oxygen to those parts where blood cannot reach. Then the lymph vessels drain lymph into lymph nodes, which are small globular masses from where new lymph vessels arise. Then lymph nodes ultimately pour their contents into large veins. The system consisting of lymph vessels, lymph nodes, and lymph is known as lymphatic system. So students, the nutrients from the blood, it passes to this system first, and from there it enters into the cell. Likewise, when the waste product is eliminated out, means taken out of the cell, it enters the lymphatic system, and thereafter it enters the circulatory system, means the blood. So students, this is all for today. Goodbye.